Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to try to get this wiring done on this third function valve. And I was going to hook it up to the fuse box underneath the steering wheel. But I ran into some things that I didn't like that I was going to have to do. I was going to have to run another power wire up there to make that work. So I found another place to hook that up, and I'll show you that when we get to that part. But with this thing being a universal kit, it works on any tractor for the most part. But there were some things that I wanted to show you that I liked about it, but I'm going to end up changing them for my application just because of me being me. So let's get into this. With this being a universal kit, there's just so much wire here, and I don't want to try to wrap it all up and zip tie it, and that's just me. It does come with these nice connectors, both here coming from the handle going to the coil, and then your power wires going down. But like I said, just with so much wire there, I just don't like it. So I'm gonna get rid of a bunch of this extra wire and come back and reconnect all this stuff with butt connectors and heat shrink. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll restart the video after I get it all in place and show you guys where I routed everything at, where I'm gonna end up hooking my ground and my power up to on the other side of the tractor. So something I didn't talk about is the connections to the valve itself. If you don't like which button does what, all you have to do is just swap these. So in doing this, I left both of these the same length from this tape point. That way, once I get it all hooked up, if I don't like which button does what, I can just swap them. I'm gonna take and hook this to the valves, and then secure it where I'm wanting to route the wires. That way I can get the right length that I want. Now that these two are sort of secured where I'm wanting the routing of these wires to go, I'm gonna take these two and this one, route them how I want them to go, and then tape them together. That way I can get an overall length of how long I need to have this cable made. Now you can see all this extra wire on these two that I really don't need, and I was gonna have to try to tuck it around and secure it somewhere. So I'm gonna go and cut this, and then we'll get it all spliced back together and get the power wires hooked in here, and then we'll get it all fed through. Well, I finally got all my connections the way I want them, all heat shrinked. Got a bigger piece of heat shrink I'm going to run up over top of all this, just to help protect everything a little bit more. I went ahead and cut that jacket that was on the wire going from the weathertight connector to the solenoids. That way I can put it back over top of this one. Put a little tape on that there and secure it. Put a zip tie on this other end down here. And then we'll feed this thing through, sort of secure it in place a little bit, and then run our power wires. All right. Finally got everything hooked up the way that I, well, not originally intended to, but that I'm happy with. So I'll show you how I have everything hooked up, and then we'll try it and see if it works. I don't have a grapple on it, but we can see if the coils will energize. Should be able to hear them click. So I'll have to move the light around because it's dark in here and it's dark outside, but let's get to it. So up here at the controls, I took that protective jacket that they had on the wire that went from the coils up to the weathertight connector, and I ran it all the way up here. I ran it down through, put all my connections inside that jacket, and then have it all wired up down through here. Then I took my power wires and I run them on down through. Got them run down here, zip tied behind this panel to this set of wires. This one here is the one that has both that power and ground cable run in it. I run it on down through, fed it around, and run it with this factory wiring harness. Then I follow the factory wiring harness all the way up here to this box. Now this was not my intention on hooking this up originally. I wanted to hook it to the fuse box underneath the key switch. But like I said earlier in the video, I would have to run another power wire back to that fuse panel to make it work. So I got to looking and trying to figure out something else. So if we take this cover off here, we have all these fuses here. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just hook it up here. I ended up pulling this thing off, and we have, originally it just had this 20 amp fuse in it and one wire coming out of this plug. So I took the power wire and run it into this plug, and I'd gotten a connector that goes inside there, and it happens to plug right in. Put 7.5 amp fuse in there. The kit comes with a 10 amp fuse, but I think the coils only pull 4 amps a piece, so I just went with a 7.5. Now we need to try it and see if it works. Let's see if we hear a little clicky clicky. I know the grapple's not on there, but I think it works. I think I got a clean install that I'm happy with. Like I said, this kit comes with a fusible link in it that you can just connect in and hook it to a power supply and a ground. It's just a personal preference of mine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it. I tried to find a place where there was a bunch of other grounds. I couldn't find any. So I took a meter and verified on this bolt right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Put my negative meter lead there. Put my positive lead up here. And I had voltage. So that was a good ground down there to hook to. Now, this connector that I hooked that wire into, you can get that connector for the wire at O'Reilly's. They do, my O'Reilly's had to order it. It was like 3 days to get it or something. They were $1 a piece. Give me a second, I'll grab one real quick. Hopefully this is focusing some. This is what that connector looks like. The part number is, I don't know which one of these part numbers it is. I took a picture of the one on the box. It says CG24, and then there's another part number on there. It's 21124, in case you guys are wanting to do the same thing I did. But I think it made a clean looking install. I mean, I'm very happy with how this turned out. Everything's tucked away. You know, I don't have that big mess of wires that I was gonna have to zip tie up somewhere or secure somehow. And I don't know, I think it turned out good. So I guess now I need to go try this grapple out. Hopefully we get some warm days here in the next couple weeks, and I can take it out here and actually try it out, moving some stuff around. Like I said before, if you have any questions about anything, throw them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them for you. And if you've already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you next time.